Today on Ballistic BBQ, we are going to be paying tribute to Papaya King in New York. We're going to be recreating their original hot dog. Let's get going. Papaya King was created in 1932 in New York by a Greek immigrant by the name of Gus Kouslos. And originally it was a storefront, basically, that served tropical drinks. It was called Hawaiian Tropical Drinks. Apparently, Gus fell in love with papayas while on vacation in Cuba, came back to the United States and decided, being the Greek that he is, the entrepreneur, he's going to open up a business, very successful, very popular business. In 1934, a customer came in, got a drink, and asked him, "What do you have to eat?" They didn't have any food on the menu, but Gus just happened to have some hot dogs, some Franks that he brought in from home. So he said, "I can make you a Frank," and he did. The rest is history. They started kind of focusing more on hot dogs with the drinks as a complement to the hot dogs. And it's funny, they didn't change the name until 1962. But they've been open ever since and copied by many other businesses, incorporating Papaya and Papaya King into their names. Which I think about New York, and it's kind of funny, how many Ray's pizzas are there? So it's up to the tourists to guess which one's the original. Anyway, we're going to make the New York style onion sauce, which is has a lot of Greek origins. And this is how I did this. I bought this right here. This is an onion sauce sold in New York by a brand called Sabrett. And I want to say that Papaya Kings, they're having their hot dogs made, like custom formula by Sabrett. So I bought this, tried it out, and I have to tell you, I'm sure it's way better. And I know I think Sabrett's has some hot dog stands, but this I found very, very bland. And I'm not saying this is what Papaya King's using. In fact, I'm pretty sure they're not using this. They're making their own onion sauce. So what I did was I very easily recreated this. And then I kind of dove in online and I was looking up Greek recipes for an onion sauce. And sure enough, there is an onion sauce that the Greeks make. And it's like a condiment, but it's more blended up. The onions aren't like whole. But I took some of those spices and seasonings that were in that recipe and incorporated into this. And I'm telling you, what I'm about to make for you guys blows this out of the water. It's really, really good. So, and many will say, I'm not recreating, I'm not copycatting the Papaya King's dogs. And I'll agree with you there. It's more of a tribute recipe. Copycat looks a lot better on a title though. So start off with one large onion, and I used Spanish onion, thinly sliced. We're going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a pan, get those onions in there. At that point, you want to make sure you're tossing the onions and getting them all coated with that olive oil, and then season it with a nice portion of salt. We're just going to keep those onions moving at about a medium-high heat. We do not want these onions to caramelize. We're not caramelizing the onions. We're just sweating them out. We want them to become somewhat opaque and soft. Once you've achieved that, we're going to add 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1/2 cup ketchup, and I'll tell you a little trick. If you're trying to copy a recipe that, from a bottle or something, a jar of sauce, say you bought, you'll look at the ingredient list. That's the first thing I do, is I look at the ingredients. And if you see tomato paste followed by high fructose corn syrup followed by spices, that's ketchup. That's what they're using, is ketchup. So I saw one copycat recipe of this Sabrett where they were literally using, tomato paste and corn syrup. It's ketchup. I'm getting old, man. I'm turning 60 in 61 in 2 months. So I'm kind of really starting to pay attention to what I'm eating when I'm putting into my body. Dyes, seed oils, high fructose corn syrup. This is a ketchup. And this ketchup is really, really good, but it's made with cane sugar. So a half a cup of ketchup. And I'm not judging anybody. Like I said, this is just something that as I'm getting older, I'm just starting to pay a little bit more attention to labels. Here I have 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, and about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne. You can add more if you want more heat, get that in there. Then 2 cups of water. So then what I did was I got this on the stove top, brought it to a boil, then I reduced it to a simmer, and I simmered this a long time. I mean, I went really low on the temperature, about maybe 2 hours, I think, until it turned into this. And I have to tell you, this tastes ridiculously good. And the flavor is very much what I saw people describing the Papaya King's onion sauce as. It's got a nice tang to it from that apple cider vinegar. The allspice is one of my all-time favorite spices, and you're tasting those spices, you're tasting the garlic, but nothing's overpowering. And then the amount of cayenne I added, you just get a little warmth. It's not too hot, which is perfect. It was perfect for my wife. So this is my tribute to Papaya King. And again, just looking at some of the Greek recipes, thinking about Gus being, this Greek immigrant, he had to be going that direction with the sauce. So for the New Yorkers out there, I am acknowledging that this is more of a tribute than a copycat, but I'd love to know how close I came to Gus's recipe. Anyway, let's make those hot dogs. So we're using a Wildfire Griddle today, running this medium high, this on low. And I'm going to be using Feltman's of Coney Island hot dogs. Just going to keep these guys rolling. Looking good. Maybe a little bit unconventional. Steam the buns here. All right, let's do this. Sauce is all heated up. Kick this off with some mustard. Then some sauerkraut. That nice warmed up New York onion sauce. Gosh, this looks good. And here we are, the original hot dog from Papaya King out of New York. At least the facsimile. Looks really, really good. cold and rainy out here right now, so maybe feeling a little bit of more of that kind of New York vibe. But I mean, this is, in my hand, it's warm. You can see the steam coming off. The sauce, you know, that onion sauce is all warmed up. The cold sauerkraut. There's going to be a really nice contrast with this, I can tell. First of all, the Feltman hot dogs, there's a nice snap. I wanted to use a really good hot dog. I want it to be a little longer than the bun. This hot dog, this Feltman's hot dog, nice and hot. You get that great snap, the saltiness of that hot dog. That cold kind of brininess of the sauerkraut mixing in with the sauce is warmed up, but it's so fragrant. As you're eating it, you're smelling all those spices and everything, and it's just got a little bit of tang, from that vinegar, and the spices are just working so well together. Little sweetness, from the ketchup and the onions, little bit of heat from that cayenne. Then, of course, the mustard. Mustard is tying in there and making things work. I've done a lot of hot dogs on this channel. This one ranks up there way up high. Very unique. I mean, like Blackie's was very unique, but that was also way more complicated to make than this. This is easy stuff. And this onion sauce goes so great with this sauerkraut. I keep wanting to call it coleslaw. The sauerkraut. But I think it would also really go well with chili, like a Skyline type chili on here. It's not an easy flavor to describe, this onion sauce. It's just got that vinegary tang, but all of these spices and the tomato and everything is just working together, and it's making a sauce flavor that it's hard to compare to something. I know I didn't really care for this, and it kind of reminded me of SpaghettiOs sauce. And again, I know for a fact that if I had this in New York, it would probably be really, really good. But the jarred stuff, this is way, way, way better than the stuff in the jar here. This is really good. It's so good. My wife's getting one of these. Son's getting one. He'll probably scrape all the stuff off. And then I'm going to have another one. It's really good. Wow. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Keep those suggestions coming in. I really, really enjoy doing, especially the iconic, historic type recipes, whether it's a hamburger or a hot dog. Hamburgers on my other channel, of course. I just love this. This is what I really love doing. And this was fun. It was really fun. So if you have any suggestions, something you'd like to see, requests, down below. In the description box, I also have my email. Feel free to email me. I get back a lot more readily on my email than I do in the comments because I check my email every day. But yeah. Anyway, if you're new to the channel or if you're not subscribed, if you don't mind, please take the time and hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, thumb it up if you like it. I hope you did. I'll see you in the next video. It's getting cold out here. Cheers.